Oh yeah, welcome to How Can She?
Man.
This is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthy casual. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
NBD.
No big deal, baby. And we're joined with a very, very special guest all the way from Europe. This man revolutionized and revitalized one of my favorite cards and one of the most hated cards in the whole game. Galactus with an awesome deck. He's been pumping out amazing decks. You know, almost every week. Every time I see you on Twitter, dude, you got a new deck and it's awesome and people love it. Having great success. Please welcome BlackDAMA here, dude. We're pumped to have you. Tell the people where they can find you, my man.
Hey, so thank you for the intro. Super honored, super blessed. So cool to be here. Thank you for having me on. Like you said, I'm BlackDAMA. I'm here in Germany, holding it down. Long story short, I'm a hardcore Marvel Snap player. Love to play the game. Love to build decks. You know, it's just a super cool game. Fell in love with it really fast, and you can find me on Twitter or X, BlackDAMA. The 6 is a B. It's also my lucky number. Just fun fact. A lot of people like to say 6LACK, but it's black. So just to put that out there one more time, because people keep butchering my name. And yeah, like I said, you can find me on Twitter. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm doing a little bit other content over there. So if you were interested in something else, check that out. And yeah, thanks for having me on, and so cool to be here.
Yeah, dude, you do kind of like a pod every so often on Fridays too. Why don't you tell people about that? Because that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, so I had like this little idea because I saw that you can like host spaces. That's what it's called, I think, on Twitter, where you have like pretty much like an open mic type thing. You know, I thought it might be pretty cool. So once I started getting a little attention, I was like, man, you know, just to talk about Snap or just to talk about people, talk about deck ideas, I think that'd be really cool. And so yeah, so I'll definitely be hosting another podcast type event on Twitter Spaces. So I always make a little teaser just before now, so everyone has time, and then anyone can join in. You don't have to be a super pro. You don't have to be a big person. You can be a small guy and just join in, have a cool conversation. And yeah, man, I'm all down for that type of stuff.
Hell yeah, I'll definitely join those when I have the time. I know the last couple that you did, I was like working, doing shit, but yeah, that seemed like an awesome idea. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's get into what we're going to talk about in the pod. We're going to go over Namora. I don't know how much we're going to talk about her, but, you know, we'll talk about her a little bit. We definitely are limited on time. BlackDAMA is moving into a new apartment tomorrow, so we want to be respectful of his time in Germany. Our time zones are all messed up, so we're all at weird times, and his is pretty late. So
this won't be the last podcast.
Hell yeah. No, definitely, bro. We're going to talk about the OTAs. That's the main meat and potatoes I want to get into on this pod. We can rant about those. And then maybe if we have time after, we'll get into some deck ideas, that kind of stuff. Let's get it. The kid. All right. No big deal. BlackDAMA. How the heck are you guys today?
How you doing, Dama?
I'm doing good, man. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's Leech is dead. You know, not dead, but he's
not dead.
Full time out.
Yeah,
he's taking a little time out, and nobody's like trying to put him in Thanos or Hela or anything like that. So I'm happy, man, to say get back to the kitchen, keep brewing. Half the cards in the game aren't invalidated now, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, OTA is always like one of those things. Like you have the meta, you get used to it, and then the OTA drops, and you're like, okay. Some decks dies, some decks get better, some new decks are born, but of course you have to find the perfect cards, the mechanics. Leech, for example, like I said, he got reverted back to his original 5 cost. I remember when he got put down to 4 cost, I'm like, oh no, this is not good. This is not good. And yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be a hard counter to Hela, but yeah, obviously they know it's not just good a counter for Hela. It's pretty much a good counter for anything on reveal type in your deck, and you're always running some sort of on reveals in your deck, no matter what you're playing. So, yeah, so they had to change him back because otherwise it would have gotten way too more toxic than it already was anyway.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, we'll get into the OTAs in a little bit, but like, Honestly, personally, I didn't play as much Marvel Snap this week as I normally do. I didn't think like this leech thing would. Usually, these changes don't really affect me too much. I usually don't give a shit. What I realized is I love on reveal cards and I love decks that aren't really that good all the time.
Yeah,
And so a lot of the decks that aren't that good, like move decks and just random decks, like me and No
yeah,
Big Deal were playing Grandmaster of bullshit like last
hmm
week and just
Yeah.
like sending each other screenshots. Like all those dumb decks that aren't that good that can get by in a meta without leech just get completely fucking obliterated.
Mhm.
yeah,
One with leech. So like I was like having like no fun, even if I lose. Like I like doing kind of dumb shit like at the end of the game and stuff. But like if I can't do any of the dumb shit, then it's like, man, that kind of sucks, man.
yeah.
Like
I know what you
You
mean.
can't
Yeah,
Phoenix Force.
I had Phoenix Force, bro. I couldn't even fucking play that deck. That was bullshit.
man.
So
Yeah, so I try like a lot of different decks, because you have to try different cards, get a little bit out of your comfort zone because then you'll never know if you like get into a different archetype, find something you like. But yeah, sometimes you know how it is. You try a deck and you're like, yeah, this deck might be meta, it might be cracked, everybody might be playing it, but it's not for me because you have cards in there that you just don't like, or you just don't like the way how the deck plays. So you're like, yeah, if you don't like it, then just play something else. What I've noticed, if you play a deck with cards that you really like, then you always like profit from it, and you'll always be good or get even better the more you play with it. So yeah, I think it's like more of a personal preference type thing.
yeah, definitely, I agree. Yeah, the more you play a deck, honestly, even if it's not a great deck, if you like master the deck, you could be good and you could rank up pretty
Hmm.
easily.
For
It's very
sure.
very key. Now let's talk about Namora, this new card that came out. I mean, I didn't pick up this card because I don't believe in her. No Big Deal didn't pick up this this card. You did though, however. What do you think about this card, dude?
So I'm gonna be honest.
Be honest, yeah.
If I had to rate her from like 1 to 5, I'd probably give her like a soft 2, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
because
Okay, good.
because her on reveal. I mean, okay, in some different situations, it can work, but just leaving a lane alone with one card and you're banking on her to be your bait. If you don't draw her, the deck is basically dead. So when I got her, I thought of all types of different ways. I tried like a storm type quake type of deck where I'd storm a location, then I quake it away. So you have an empty location, then a war machine, then I'll play a big card in there, but I'm missing a turn to like pop off. So I'm like, the idea is there, but I can't like manifest it the way it works. So then I tried a ramp deck. And I'm like, okay, she's cool, but for a typical ramp deck, you can run other stuff. You don't need her, so she's all right. But if you're low on resources, I definitely wouldn't buy her. Not with tokens, and especially not with spotlight caches. And I had to spend 4 keys to get her. So I was like, I was already salty from the start.
Yeah, it feels bad.
No big deal. What do you think? And stuff
Um,
you've seen on the ladder and stuff,
Yeah, from what I've seen from the videos I've watched from content creators, of course, I haven't picked her up. I don't plan on picking her up for sure. Um, there's it's not even just I think she seems like a decent card, honestly. But like I mean, is she really unlocking a new archetype? Is she that fun? How long till you get sick of playing a Jeff, a Nocturne, and then putting a Wong in a lane, and then
Hmm.
playing a Namora and playing an Odin and doing the exact same thing. Like, how long till if that deck becomes meta, people just play Cosmo, people just play Magneto, whatever. If
Yeah,
if
exactly.
that deck becomes meta, it's extremely easy to counter. So it's like, all right, as a good card, sometimes in the Blink Leech deck that just got nerfed because Leech just
Hmm.
got nerfed. I don't know, man. I don't see the need to pick her up, but I do think she seems decent, and I don't think the conditions like that hard to pull off, right? Like, you just need two cards alone in a lane. So as long as you're not running into
Yeah.
junk or something,
Yeah,
then
like I said, yeah, you can put in the work, put one card left, put one card right, or
mm,
however you want to go about it. But
mm,
I think at some point it'll start to get a little bit boring because you have to invest so hard and just in so many situations, especially in those RNG situations where you'll have a card in one lane and then something will happen and then you'll spawn squirrels in every location. So now your Namora combo is pretty much done because you have two cards in every location, or junk decks are pretty lethal against the Namora deck. So yeah, it might be one of those cards that will age like fine wine with the time. Once other cards release, and then you'll look back at, okay, I can run her now. Maybe they might adjust it, put her at a 4 cost, or they'll increase the power gains. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, she's alright, but she's not a meta defining card.
I will say too. I quickly want to shout out the card White Widow. Like White Widow's everywhere right now. White Widow's
Yep.
a sick card, like phenomenal card. That
Yeah.
is, people are starting to just put her in shit that like isn't even a junk deck. Like it's like, oh, I need a 2 cost. Let me just put freaking White Widow. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that card absolutely just ruins Namora's day as well. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
Namora.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I still don't see this card, man. I don't get it. I don't think she's that good. I mean, again, I don't have experience playing with her, but I mean, just from what I've seen, from what I've been playing against, I haven't lost to a Namora. Sure, you can pop off with a wild combo, but like, you can say that about any combo deck ever. Any stupid
Yeah,
combo.
you have to
So
invest so much to like pull
yeah,
off a big combo. So yeah, I'm like, ugh. I could just
and
play Loki, draw cards, play Loki on 4, and then I'll kick your ass with your own cards. That's more fun.
yeah, there's that, and then yeah, exactly what you said, Black Dama too. Is a point I was going to touch on was like locations, man. Like Central Park, all the squirrels are everywhere. The raptors, the ninjas, the Monster Island,
Yeah.
everything that and then the locations that you can't even play cards on. Everything just to kind of cuck you out of this combo. It's pretty,
Yeah.
it's not that uncommon for that to happen.
Hmm.
And then what No Big Deal said, which I was going to say as well, White Widow's everywhere.
Yeah.
Junk is not as prevalent. I haven't seen junk as prevalent, but White Widow's a card that's everywhere that just completely ruins your Namora. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to get her. I'll probably get her on the next time she comes around Spotlight Caches and be happy about it. Unless they change her, then I'll buy her with tokens if she looks like she's a lot better. But as of right now, I'm happy not having her in my collection, to be
Yeah.
honest. And yeah,
There's some bangers coming up. We got Sasquatch, we got RSM, we got
Oh God.
just some crazy cards. The one that does the drain the succubus, whatever. That
Yeah,
thing seems
Yeah.
absolutely crap.
that's the villain from the new Deadpool movie, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the lore, but yeah, maybe.
Oh,
Wait.
that's what I heard, or that's what I saw. So I think the new main villain of the Deadpool. I hope it's not a spoiler
Yeah.
here. But the new villain from the Deadpool 3 movie is the card with the drain effect. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that thing seems crazy if it holds up. I mean, Thena's coming out. Thena seems ridiculous. So yeah,
I
I think
think
it's
even
easy skip.
Fast Souls is probably next
Oh
to
Yeah.
RSM is probably one of the busted cards of the month.
Yeah.
So I
yeah,
can't wait for that card to come out because I definitely have some ideas, but I just need to wait for the card to come out so I can test it properly.
yeah,
Yeah, that looks awesome as well.
yeah,
There's a lot of banger cards coming up, and this
yeah.
card is
June's
not
crazy.
one of them.
June cards are crazy.
And
Yeah.
Sasquatch is coming next week.
Yeah,
Exactly, yeah. So
That's gonna be
Sasquatch might
sick.
be probably bounce heavy, maybe in a bounce
Yeah,
shell, probably because you get to play a lot of cards and then discount them. Yeah, something like that, maybe. But that's what I think. So I try to go out of the way and not do the typical deck. So yeah, Sasquatch, what's the perfect deck? Okay, yeah. So bounce. All right. So let me try to think of something else that you can also run. Maybe like I have an idea, but I need to see how it pans out first.
yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, let's go into the OTAs because I know you don't have too much time, and we usually like to rant and talk shit about the OTAs a lot.
Yeah,
So
we
I want to
can.
make sure we have proper time to talk shit
Yeah,
about
for
the
sure.
OTAs.
Yeah, let's get it.
It's very important. So let me pull them up here.
let's do it.
Uh,
The leech apocalypse. It should be
There
fun.
we go. All right. So I'll just read what the
Yeah.
devs say up top. I mean, the leaks were real, so the leaks were actually real, so we can actually get into them all. They said this week is slightly heavier on nerfs and sideways changes than usual, as we'd like to reshape the existing metagame as a touch. We're hoping a couple of the existing top decks will slide into more even positions within the larger field. While the current metagame is fairly healthy on our internal metrics, it's not as healthy as some have been, and we'd like to aim more closely for those targets while keeping things fresh. So let's start with the first one here. We have Old Captain America. I got real excited for this at first, and then I read it more carefully, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? So First, he was a 3/3 ongoing ability. Your other cards here have +1 power.
Yep.
His new text is 3/2 ongoing. Your other ongoing cards here have +2 power. Not all your other cards, only your other ongoing cards have +2 power. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Dama?
Oh, yeah. Man, Captain America is such an iconic character, and they've been doing him dirty, and they did him dirty again with
Mm-hmm.
this OTA.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, what I would have liked? I would have liked something like, if they like completely reworked the card, like they did Spider-Man, or just completely sometimes rework cards. What would be a cool idea? I think, if you like played him and his on reveal was like, let him be a 3/3, and his on reveal would be, draw every Avenger at a discounted one cost or something like that. You know what I mean? Something cool, something iconic. But yeah,
Flavor.
it's like a beginner card, so they can't make it too busted. I get that, but on the other side, people have been begging for a decent buff, but that's definitely not the way to go. And I'm pretty sure he's going to get another change sooner or later. Because I looked at different ongoing stuff. Yeah, you can have some cool synergies. I tried, like a Professor X deck, because Professor X is my all-time favorite card in the game. And, yeah, I could like ramp up with Professor X maybe and stuff, but it's not really working out how I thought. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
No big deal.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I agree 100%. I mean, this is, we did OTA wish list, I think 3 weeks ago now. And for both of us, kid, we both, without consulting each other, came up with this exact change for Captain America. And we would love to see the card exactly like this, same stats, everything, with the word ongoing not in the fucking text. I mean, what is this? Your other ongoing cards here have 2 power. You just erase that word, and this is a very interesting card in Marvel Snap. 3/8 when he's maxed out. Oh no, yeah, 3. So it'll be 3/8 when he's maxed out.
Yeah.
And I mean, all kinds of strategies: Zoo, Dazzler, like anything where you're filling the lane. Like a conditional 3/8 is really cool. And still ongoing synergy. Maybe Mystica, maybe whatever. Like throw an Onslaught on there if you need to. Like all kinds of cool stuff you could do with that iteration of Captain America. But unfortunately, they pigeonholed them into what I can see is only Spectrum and Cerebro 2 decks only, and I don't know if he's ever going to go in anything else as this iteration, which if later on in the pod we're going to get into a couple of Captain America decks, because this is pretty much all I've been playing in the last week. But got some Captain America spice for sure. But I don't like. I wish they would just not put the word ongoing. I think he's totally fine as a 3/2/2 +2 power, and I think Punisher should be 3/3 +2 power for all your enemy cards on the other side. I think it's very simple, and those are actual cards in the game if you put them like that. I don't know why they fumbled this one.
Man, they definitely need to either change the text, like you said, remove the ongoing, or just like rework the card completely. Because like I said, Captain America, iconic character. I think Winter Soldier is my favorite movie, so that's the favorite movie for a lot of people. I mean, for really a lot of people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, man, don't do him dirty like that. Come on.
Bro, they did this card so dirty. When I read this, I was real excited because I didn't read the ongoing part of it. Like when I first read the leaks, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, they made Captain America a playable card now. He's going to be interesting. Like they buffed Ultron. He would be cool with in Ultron decks too. And I'm like, man, this is going to be such a fucking cool card. Now we can actually play him, dust off those old variants that we never fucking use. And then I read it again. I'm like, this has got to be a fucking typo, bro. I'm like, this has got to be a typo. I'm like, there's no way this is the real what they're doing. And it is real. Like, this is I don't care what anyone says. This is fucking garbage. I don't like this. I don't like this change at all. Like Gladiators are 3. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the ongoing part because I just overflew it a little bit, and then I put a deck together. And I'm like, okay, let me try this, and then I lost with a couple of points. I'm like, hey, why didn't the other cards in Captain America's location get the proc? I was about to go on Twitter, make a huge rant post like, man, so what's next? They OTA cards, and now they don't work properly, and you lose matches.
Fix your game, Ben, bro.
Yeah, and I'm like. Do you know? I'm pretty sure you guys know this feeling. So, let's say you're playing a match, right? And you're like, or let's say if you're grinding the infinite, so you're going down and forth. You're in your 90s, going up, going down. You're so pissed and you're so angry. So You play a match and then you lose, and then you look at all the cards, you look at what happened, and you're like, there's no way that this could have happened because I knew I was going to win. And then you're just like so in your tunnel vision, and then you look at the cards exactly, and then you notice a small thing, and you're like, oh shit, that's why I lost. Fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me with Captain America because I didn't read the ongoing part, and then I was like, why are the cards broken, but literally broken because it's not working properly. And then I looked at the text, I'm like, oh, ongoing cards. I'm like, oh my god, this card is so bad now.
Yeah, I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they thought that like a 3/8 ongoing card would be ridiculously like too powerful or something like that. Like Gladiator's a conditional 3/8.
Mhm.
This card should be a conditional 3/8, especially, given, of course, he's an iconic character. And I don't think he would get overpowered at all. I mean, we have Enchantress, we have Rogue, like we have
Yeah.
counters to ongoing cards, man. Like it's not like a 3/8 would be ridiculous, even with Spectrum or Onslaught. Like
Yeah,
again,
or
we have counters to them.
yeah, or even having a super scroll in your deck. It could go both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just don't know why they did this. I think it's just I don't think I mean I haven't played with them. I don't plan on playing with them because this seems bad. But maybe with an all ongoing Spectrum shell, he's okay to slide in that when everything's ongoing.
Yeah,
But still, he would have been better
Yeah.
without it. I don't need it.
Yeah,
That's
because
stupid.
the next problem is not a lot of people or there are a lot of people that don't like to play ongoing. So
Me.
Captain America is only going to be relevant for those people who like to play hardcore ongoing decks. So like, ugh, yeah. I hope he gets another change because I'm pretty sure he's gonna see more play percentage wise, but in the total landscape of all of it, I think not as much as they are hoping.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't even think that this ruins the new player experience. You're just getting like more power. Like everything. If they just kept this makes it more confusing for new players. If anything, they should just kept the text the same, remove the
Yeah.
ongoing part, and it's a little bit more powerful. It doesn't ruin shit for new players. I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, the new player stuff's a bit ridiculous. And to your point, Black Dama, with the lore, I kind of like the lore that the current design has. Captain America rounds up the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
So, he buffs the more people that are in his location, the more powerful he is because he's the team leader and he
Yeah.
rallies up the troops. So he's got like a rally the troops kind of effect.
Yeah.
And I think it fits the lore pretty good, but it's just been just a garbage card forever. So like, okay, great, it fits the lore, but he's still a dog shit card, so we can't play it. So now it's like, all right, now they make it like so niche, which actually really doesn't fit the lore to your point, right? Like now it's like, okay, no, it's only the ongoing, like, it's like, all right, come on, what are we
Yeah,
doing here?
now you look at all the ongoing cards. If you look at the classic Avengers, you don't really have an ongoing card in there.
No, yeah.
So like, what are you guys doing?
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, we've talked enough shit about Captain America. Let's go on to the next change here. I was a little confused with this one personally, but its Spectrum was a 6/7. Then they nerfed her to a 6/6. Their reasoning, they said the cap change is a pretty decent buff to an existing strong Spectrum decks. We want these decks to hold a spot in the meta game, so we've given it a lot of rope. The deck has remained a top performer and approached levels that would require a rebalance. That made the cap buff above more dangerous. So this is a small compensatory nerf. I can't read today. I'm sorry. To keep things in balance. I didn't honestly. I never thought these fucking Spectrum decks were that overpowered. I know there's some pretty good ones at the top of the ladder, and
Yeah,
people are doing good with
I've been
Spectrum
pumping them
decks.
for weeks, kid. I've been pumping.
I know
them for
you.
weeks.
You've actually sent me screenshots of you just taking a cubes off people with these Spectrum decks, but like. I've never lost to them like that. Like when they pop off, they pop off.
You
But
got to see me on the ladder. See me on the street.
bro, I never thought they were like wild decks that needed a nerf that were like overpowered. I don't know. I like that Spectrum was a little bit of a stronger card because she was so dog shit for so long. But like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's cool. It's all right. Yeah, we've been seeing Spectrum decks, ongoing decks popping off. But like I said, back to my point, it's only relevant for those people who like to play ongoing, and so ongoings are right, but I'm not like a heavy hardcore. I like the on reveals more. It's just I'm that type of guy. Card flips, an effect happens, and then your opponent has to see what they do. And ongoing, it's like, yeah, okay, it's all right. I don't think it would have certainly been necessary, but okay. So we've seen a spike in Spectrum decks, Yeah, they can do it, but I don't think it's that relevant.
Yeah, I
It's
mean
all
this is just a weird change to me. I mean, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't
We're,
really affect the
we're
deck at all.
because they'll
Yeah,
probably be like they probably pushed it back one power because they buffed Captain America in the hopes of his
yeah.
or new ability that Spectrum's going to be run more, so they need to tune her a little bit down. But yeah,
I
I
mean,
wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing Spectrum more. Like I mean, I guess there's a lot of Spectrum, but like I haven't seen her in so long. Like I don't mind the deck being good. I mean, they say it approaches a level that would require rebalance almost. Like okay, I mean, I guess I can't argue with that, but like I personally never felt like this deck was a problem ever.
no, and
You
and
know?
they
yeah,
they even say in there too, like because the deck had pretty good stats. I like I said, I've been pushing it. We were talking about US Agent a couple weeks ago. I do think it's a genuinely good deck. I don't think it's like a meta it's taking over the game like these Spectrum decks. Like oh my god, like it's the best deck in the game. So I do find it a little weird that that's how they feel. But to their point, they're talking about Enchantress. Literally nobody's playing Enchantress. Like nobody's playing Echo. Like you could just play the card Echo. Like it completely owns this deck. They put a Jean Grey down, you throw an Echo, like it's over. The game is literally over at that point. So Rogue, like all kinds of stuff can hard counter this deck. So and nobody's playing these hard counters. So and we're just coming out of obviously the Leech meta. So we've had Leech for 2 weeks. Is it not natural that the freaking ongoing deck is going to be like they're saying it's like oh it's reaching levels that were required to be balanced. Well, no shit. You got a card that shuts off all the on reveals in the game. How the fuck do
yeah,
you think the ongoing deck's going to perform? Like, what are we talking about? This is
yeah.
like the Lady Deathstrike change all over again. It's like, oh well, it's a junk meta. Lady Deathstrike's metrics are a little crazy, guys. Like, well, no shit. It's the junk meta, guys. Like, Lady Deathstrike
Yeah,
builds the
exactly.
-10 void. Like, yeah, she's gonna look pretty good in that. Like the release valve. They talk about they love these release valves. Well, here you go. Like so, I don't know, man. It's a weird mentality, but as far as taking one power off Spectrum, it doesn't affect the deck at all.
Yeah, and
It's a one
honestly,
power change.
I've been playing Enchantress this week. It's fucking great. It's a great card.
Yeah, it is.
It was way better than
it's always been.
Yeah, nobody
yeah.
plays it though, but it's a very good card. Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
people need to play it. Like it's been
no one plays it. But
it's
a
been
good
better
card.
than Shang-Chi this week for
for
sure.
sure.
Because
Yeah.
Leech fucked everything else up, and there's a lot more ongoing. It's a way better card than Shang-Chi.
Hey, you can
So
play a big power deck. You can drop your Orca on a location. Don't be scared because you're not seeing Shang-Chi that often. And then when you don't expect it, you get hit in the face with them.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not mad about this change. I'm confused by it, and I would like Spectrum to stay good because she's been horrible for so long. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, just like in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't watch the movie. I didn't see the movie yet.
Yeah, I fell asleep halfway, and I'm a
Oh
hardcore
no.
MCU fan, so that says a lot.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I've been wanting to see it and then I never did, but I will eventually.
Hey man, it's a tough watch from what I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
All right.
Deadpool will make up for all of it.
Heck yeah, I can't wait. Luke Cage. Luke Cage was a 3-4 and now he's a 3-3. Is this a closet buff? Anyways, I'll let you guys talk about it. What do you think?
Okay,
It's a nerf on
sure,
paper.
just look at it here on paper. Luke Cage, old effect 3-4. Your cards can't have their power reduced. New, from 3-4 to 3-3. Your cards can't have their power reduced. Well, you reduced Luke Cage's power. Huh?
That's true.
Huh?
Who's gonna protect the neighborhood?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
What do you
Yeah,
think?
I mean, Luke Cage's good for for those, but he's good, but you're not seeing that much, hazmat type stuff. Let me reduce your power type stuff. You're not seeing Shadow King that much. I mean, yeah, you can nerf him a bit, but I haven't seen him that much, so it came from me out of the blue somewhere. His old effect was bad when they nerfed him the first time. Remember that where we only triggered his ongoing in the location he was played, and I was like, man, that's so bad. And then they
Yeah.
reverted it. So yeah, let's see what happens next. I guess it's okay, but I don't think it was necessary because so his effects you can't have their powers reduced, but you reduce the card itself. So like, I don't get it.
yeah. I think this is a silly change. I think 3-4 Luke Cage was not that good that it needs to be nerfed. I mean, what are we talking about? Like this card was a 2-3, was it? Like
Yeah,
3-4 is not a great stat line. Like
it's
Luke
not. It's
Cage
not a vanilla
effect is
stat line.
yeah, exactly, the vanilla stat line, which we know is bad. So it's like I don't know what we're doing here with Luke Cage. Like Hope Summers is a 3-4. She has a much more powerful effect than Luke Cage, for example. If I want to compare to another 3-4. So moving him down to 3-3, very silly in my opinion. And it's very easy to just go ahead and take him out of the Spectrum deck now. They're talking about, well, it's the best card in the Spectrum deck. Well, not anymore. We get him the fuck out of there, and we'll put
Yeah.
Captain America in his spot
Mhm.
because this is a joke. Like I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
the
sure.
shout out Cerebro 3 to the kids' point for sure.
Yeah, he might be cool in the Cerebro 3 deck.
Yeah.
Cerebro is cool if you can get it to work. And even a C3 deck can be pretty powerful if you play the cards right. Of course, you don't get screwed over by RNG. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe a C3 deck.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like, I mean, I think that's really good for this card. Obviously, him being nerfed just based on power seems ridiculous to me. I don't think a 3-4 Luke Cage was overpowered. I think that's silly. But man, like I've seen a lot of people play Cerebro 3. People that are good players have a lot of success with Cerebro 3. Seems like a pretty good deck. Cerebro 3 and Cerebro 2 have been being done pretty good the last little bit in the meta.
Mhm.
Luke Cage is a pretty sick inclusion in Cerebro 3, man, because like he just like helps out with all the weird locations and affliction and
Yeah,
stuff. So that's a
definitely.
big tool for C3. So I don't know.
Yeah, for
This
sure.
seems like, I mean, I don't play Cerebro at all ever, but like this seems like a great change for Cerebro 3 decks.
Yeah, if you play against a seasoned Cerebro deck player, then he can beat you with any deck you're playing if he knows how to
Yeah.
play the C3 deck for sure. I lost a couple of games for underestimating Cerebro.
Yeah, well, okay, well, we're gonna talk about C3 then. Guys want to talk some Cerebro? I'm always down. I'm a big fan. One of my favorite cards in the game.
Yeah.
I guess I'll give you the history lesson, the journey here. At some point, Luke Cage was a 2-3, and 2-3 Luke Cage in Cerebro 3. I think was one of the best decks in the entire game.
Yeah,
This was during Loki meta, and Loki was just absolutely terrorizing everybody. It was around when the card first came out. And Loki decks don't love playing into decks like Cerebro and Hela specifically. They're
yeah,
very quote unquote asymmetric. I don't know if people use that. I don't love that word. I think it sounds terrible, but they're decks that what they do only benefits their own deck. So giving away these random like 3-power cards to your opponent doesn't do that much for them. But
yeah.
all the
Because
cards work together in your deck. Everything synergizes, and it's harder for a Loki deck to deal with. So I thought Cerebro 3 was unbelievable and the best Cerebro by far at that point. Think about like Shang-Chi's a 3-power card. Mobius is a 3-power card. Like Jeff is a 3-power card. A lot of the most powerful tech cards and just cards in general are all 3-power cards. And then of course Valkyrie is like a really good win condition as well. You
yeah,
could Valkyrie
Valkyrie's
the
fun.
magic. So like Cerebro 3, phenomenal deck until they decided to move Luke Cage off of 3-power. So once the Luke Cage became a 3-4, in my opinion, C3 was kind of dead. I know it was popping up on the ladder a little bit, but I think that's a little bit copium. I do think you need power. No, your cards can't be reduced in power, especially a deck relying on cards like Valkyrie and Bast. Sometimes Bast, sometimes not. I think it's really important to have the Luke Cage in that deck. So hey, he's back, and we'll see. We'll see how he does. I've been playing C2 now because of good old Captain America Avengers, and but
Yeah,
we'll see. Obviously, I'll be trying out some C3 at some point, but I'll be on vacay for the next 2 weeks, so hopefully it doesn't take over while I'm
yeah.
gone.
Yeah. You made a decent point, so I'll give. I liked. I played Cerebro a lot in my beginning Marvel days. I really enjoyed it, and then I just moved off because so many different stuff came in. I never got back to. But I've always when I played Cerebro, I always enjoyed it, and I always had a good time. So yeah, I probably have to give another Cerebro deck another go. C3 seems like a solid. I think C3 is the vanilla. Again, you can say the vanilla stat
Yeah,
stat line
true.
for a Cerebro deck. Yeah, for sure.
Well, And historically, it's been mostly a bad deck, just in general, right? Like it's been mostly like just a fun kind of pet deck, but there's been times where it's been really strong.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
Eliath, when Eliath was a 5, like C5 was really strong, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
you won't be catching me playing Cerebro, but I
Yeah,
mean,
kid
this
elite.
I'm happy for the Cerebro 3 players for this change. That's it. Um,
Let me drop the C3 deck, and then we'll talk again after
yeah,
that.
yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Let's talk about Baron Mordo. I didn't see
uh,
this card, coming. He's always been a horseshit card, so I'm glad they're doing
New
something.
Cerebro 3 tech, Cerebro 3 tech, baby.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he was on reveal. If people don't know, because I don't think some people may never have seen this card before. He used to be a 2/3 on reveal. Your opponent draws a card, set its cost to 6. Now the new is 2/3 on reveal. The top card of your opponent's deck costs 6 until turn 6. So what this does in essentially, it seems it's a little confusing, but the
the
opponent
next
does
card.
not
Yeah,
draw. Yeah, does not draw a card anymore. So previously he made your opponent draw cards. You do not get the card draw anymore. And then so the next turn, or next time your opponent draws a card, that one's going to cost 6 until turn 6. And on turn 6, it'll probably revert back to its original power.
yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's definitely better than before, but I don't think that you'll see him in a lot of decks because he's been tainted for so long. He's probably one of the lowest rated cards that's been played. So I don't know if the new change will help him out, but I can see people running him in different types of depths, just to piss you off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with the Black Dama analysis there. I think he's spot on. I do want to say I don't love this change just emotionally. If I could just talk about emotions, with take my logic and throw it out the window.
Hmm.
This reminds me of the Celine change, where they technically made Celine a better card, right? They moved her up to a 1/2, but I feel like she lost a lot of her flavor. I loved that Celine was negative and she worked with Annihilus and she worked with Junk, and it was just more terrorizing your opponent. You could Celine, and back then, for a little bit, Viper was a 2 power card, so you could Celine on one,
two
Viper that
cost.
bitch right over. Like send that -2, like and you hit their hands, you hit their hand, you hit their board. I was hoping they would go the other way with Celine, either make her like a -4, like something crazy like that, rather than make her a better card. Now look, nobody plays freaking Celine. I think it's the same thing with Baron Mordo, where it's
Yeah,
like he was a Ronin card and he was so bad that he was like not even playable in Ronin. But I think they should lean more into the hand thing. Maybe make him, the kid came up with the idea like make him draw 2 cards, make him cost 6, or just something crazy like this, rather than go back to trying to make him a good card. But he's not even really that good of a card. I mean, this card's definitely better than it was before for sure. Like they will draw the card, and now that card's a 6, so that is relatively disruptive. Like it's a strong Iceman type of effect, but I like the old Baron Mordo. I wish they would have just boosted his stats or made his effect even crazier than it was. So I
yeah,
don't love this change. Reminds me of the Celine change.
yeah. Same. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if this card. It's definitely. I don't know if he's going to be played. I don't know. I have to screw around the card a little bit, but like I wonder if he makes Zemo decks a little bit better. Like if he can go into a Zemo deck, because then if you make like a low cost card cost 6, like if you play him on turn 5 with Zemo can draw like a bigger boy, right? I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
um, I don't know if he's better with like Yondu too. Like Yondu takes out a low cost card, and then like you play Baron Mordo, so like you're hitting one of their maybe like better cards. So I don't know if he. Not that the Zemo decks were like really good to begin with, like they're fun little mill decks, but I wonder if he's decent in them now. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good card. It's like a little disrupt card, but I'd just rather play White Widow. So
Yeah, any time of
right.
the day. Hmm.
Yeah. To your point, cool Iceman synergy as well, right? After they draw the card, it's a 6, so now Iceman can't hit that card. So Iceman's just going to be more consistently hitting shit they actually want to play, right? Because they already have a 6 in their hand, so it's like boom, they
Yeah,
hit something else they want to play. and it's gonna have a better odds of
Yeah,
making
it's
something.
a good synergy. You can get really nasty. You put a Spider Ham, Mortal,
Mhm.
Iceman.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get definitely nasty and toxic with it, but like you need to get creative. You need to be like, man, I really want to play this card? Okay, I need to. What does this work well with? So definitely need to sit down and think what you want to do with Baron Mortal if you decide to run them in a deck.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, I wonder if he could be like maybe like an off meta like disrupt bounce list. You know, put him in like a
Yeah,
bounce shell, and just like you can fuck with your opponent's hands a little bit. It's not going to be good. Then like you're not going to be as good as like regular bounce, but like just some like off meta fuckery might be decent. I don't know.
yeah,
Probably
for
not.
sure.
Probably not. But
We will see.
yeah, I don't know. I'm glad they're at least trying with this card because he was so dog shit before.
Mhm.
For sure, yeah.
All right, so we have Grandmaster. Finally, this is a long time coming. And when did he come out? January. So
Hmm.
5 months later, this card went from a 2-0 to a 2-2, and we've talked a lot on this pod about how shit 2-0s are out of Morlock. But I'm happy. I'm happy they gave him some love here. They gave him some power. This is well needed. I'm a little bit, again, if we're talking emotions, I'm a little sad because he's not going to work with Ravona anymore,
Yep.
and only
That's what I was
because
gonna
Yeah,
like
say.
for the last week I've been fucking. He was not good. Like I'm going to be clear, he was still shit. All right, but he was fun with Ravona. Just fucking around like the last week, making stupid decks with Ravona. But like, I'm happy that he's changed, and I'm happy that he's better. Hopefully, he sees more play. He's a fun card, man. So yeah, good
yeah.
for them for making this change. My opinion. What do you guys think?
So I'll go Black Dom on this one. It's Grandmaster, whatever. But
Hmm.
um, I don't want to sound like a hater. I do like this patch overall, but as we're going through each change, I feel like I'm kind of shitting on every change. I like this OTA a lot better than last week, like a lot better, than the Leech one. So like overall, I do like it. But I wish they went to 2-1. I really wish they went to 2-1. I love playing this
Yeah,
card with
same.
Ravona, and I love playing this card with Mr. Negative. And you just cucked me out of both, and those are the only places I ever play Grandmaster is either with Ravona or Mr. Negative, and you just took both of those right off the
Yep,
table. So now it's
same.
got to again. We're trying to make every card into a good card. To me, it's just boring.
Yeah,
This good card shit is freaking boring to me. I like
yeah.
popping off. I like doing crazy combos, and I feel like they're taking that away from me, and I don't love it.
Yeah, man. I feel exactly the same about Ravona dead, negative dead. Grandmaster in negative was very powerful because if you pulled some decent cards and you were able to Grandmaster, it could be super sick. With Ravona, I did like some double storm lockdown location Legion type stuff. All that's gone now. So what do I have to do now? Now I have to run Celine to get my Grandmaster back down to negative so I can, but no, too much work. I mean, at Grandmaster, if you have the right cards, you can run them well. Yeah, but I think 2-1 would have been better for sure.
Bro, you just said Grandmaster Storm. I can't believe I never thought of that. That's insane. You do Storm Grandmaster on turn 4 because you have a
Yeah.
Ravona. Bro,
So
sheesh, that's
so
crazy. That's
so
insane.
I dropped the deck where I had this combo. So mhm.
I love that.
so
That's
you storm you,
diabolical, dude. I
so you
love that.
storm you storm on 3 on the right. You Grandmaster storm another location. So your opponent will be heavy duty trying to play in one of the two locations. And then on 4 or 5 you play War Machine, and then it's GG's pretty much.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, I guess just snap if you have War Machine in your hand, I guess, right? It's like, all right, well,
Or
there's not
or
gonna be
you
able to
can
play.
like so yeah, it had that little move package where you can you move your Nightcrawler, have a Jeff so you can move, and then sometimes you're just like or if you don't have the Grandmaster combo, you'll play Storm on 3, you'll play War Machine on 4, and then on 5 you'll Legion into the Storm
Legion.
location, and
Yeah.
yeah, nasty.
That's
I've
great.
seen the Legion one, but I've never seen it with Grandmaster. That's sick. I love that, dude.
Mhm.
Well, at least like here, like you know, Ravona not affecting it is sad, yes, but like at least now at a 2/2, it's a card that you can think about putting in like a lot more decks. So like I think you get a lot more mileage out of this deck. I know you want the combo pop off stuff, but like you still might be able to pop off a little bit with this card because you know at a 2/2 it's not that bad. Like I think you can still get some work done with this card. It's just it's I think it's gonna be better. I like the Ravona stuff better too, honestly, but like you know I think I like it.
I'll find another good deck for Grandmaster because I
Yeah.
got the Spotlight variant. It's the only variant for him currently, so I have to find another. I'll find something sooner or
That's a
later.
good one too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I'm happy. I'm happy they hit it. I just wish they would have went to 2-1. Just let's go to 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This change, one of my favorites, Werewolf by Night. I'm so happy they brought this motherfucker back. He was a 4/4. Now he's a 3/1. After you play a card, move there to gain +2 power if it has an on reveal. This is great. What do you guys think? I'll
Go
talk
ahead,
about it
Dom.
after.
Yeah, I haven't played Werewolf. I played him while when he was a 3, when he was cracked, when he was everywhere, bounce
Yeah.
deck, and I like to play bounce as well. So I haven't had the time to test him yet, but I'm super excited because Werewolf by Night is a very, very, very strong card because he's also unpredictable. He's very hard to Shang. He's very hard to Shadow King. And yeah, might be the resurgence of a bounce deck for sure. Hmm.
Yeah, no big deal. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. This was what, we all knew at the time that Werewolf needed to be nerfed when they nerfed him the first time, when they moved him to a 4/4. And everybody's prediction was basically this. Everyone either said, every content creator, everybody said, oh, move him to a 3/1 or move him to a 3/0. Because, a lot of people are saying, oh, maybe 3/1 is still too strong, so maybe move him to a 3/0. It's funny that we've come full circle and they just went ahead with the very obvious change that they really should have done in the first place, I think. So I like this change a lot. The 4/4 was super weird. People were playing like Zabu Werewolf. It was strange times. This guy belongs at the 3 cost. I think, depending on how broken he is, you just scale his power. Leave him at 3. If 3/1's way too broken, move him to 0. Shit, move him to -1. Who cares? Werewolf's got to be jumping. The more turns he has to jump around, the funner he is. This card's sick and a really good time, and I'm happy he's back to his glory.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome change. This is one of the most fun cards in the game. Really, really high skill cap on this card. Like I've fucked up so much on this card, but I've had a great time doing it. And just it's such a fun card to play. Just him running, jumping around, and this combined with they nerfed Leech, which we'll get to later, means that we can play on reveals, in the later part of the game now without fear, and we can have this card, be a lot of fun. No big deal. You've sending me screenshots of like Werewolf by Night. You're like, bro, this card's fucking sick again. It's like
back.
it's
Back,
great,
baby.
and like
Yeah.
of course he's gonna get big. Like he'll get big. He'll be one of the biggest 3 cost cards, in the game probably a lot of the time. Because you could probably get him up to like 312, 314, 316.
Oh, he gets like 17 sometimes.
Yeah, you can get him like pretty easy, not easily, but you can get him up there. But like you have to put in the work, and you have to play the cards in the correct order, and you have to think like 3 or 4 turns ahead and to be able to do that, which I think is great. The more you play this card, the more of a payoff you'll get. But like just having him jump around and be a good card again, man, it's so much. It's so much fun. I fucking love this card. Out of 4, he was fucking garbage. This is amazing. I'm so happy they did this, man.
Yeah, a
I'm
fun
so
card
happy.
and a strong card. If you know how to play Werewolf by Night, he can win you a lot of matches for sure.
Yeah, and even if you don't know how to play him, he's still fun, man. Like, because I fuck up so much, and I'm like, damn, like I lose a lot of games because I fucked up the Werewolf bounces. But like, it's just I don't care. It's great. He's a good card. He's fun.
And yeah, just as a prediction too, because I've been playing a bit of bounce. That's the first thing I did when this OTA hit. I'm like, all right, I got to dust off the old Werewolf and start hopping around because Sage just came out too. So been having fun with Sage as well. So some Sage bounce. I think he's probably gonna stay at a 3/1. I feel pretty good about this stat line for Werewolf because to Black Dama's points earlier, you get people whose favorite card in the game is Professor X, And you know, Junk,
Yes, sir.
Cannonball, Professor X. I mean, this stuff's still really strong. Werewolf hates Junk, and last time Werewolf was in the meta, there was no Junk decks anywhere. Junk did not exist last time Werewolf. You had all the space. You could jump around the whole board. Nobody was playing Professor X on you before. So now it's he's definitely has some counters, and people are playing Shadow King as well. So you have Shadow King with Prio Junk deck. Werewolf's gonna have a hard time. So I think he's like pretty good at a 3-1. At least my initial reaction to playing the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this, dude. Yeah, that's good. All right.
Man, I need to get that Dan Hip variant, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't have the hip. I had the
It's the album. It's the final album reward
Yeah,
of
it's
one of them.
album reward. Yeah, I think
Which
I'm
actually,
missing maybe 2 or 3.
you know, it's. I'll say one thing about that too is like good for second dinner for that. I don't think they got enough props for that specifically because that is a Series 4 or Series 5 card that you can get through an album that you don't need spotlight keys or anything. So if you spend gold or if you just get the Dan Hip variants, you can actually get the Werewolf by Night card, and you just once you have the variant, you have the card, so you can get it through an album. That's an alternative thing, and they put an emote in that album, before the final reward, which is the Werewolf by Night. So you can get an emote a little bit sooner. And there, it's a Dan Hip album, so it's not like fucking 1,200 gold for every variant. It's 700 or free.
The only album thing what I think sucks is that that you have some ultimate variants.
Yeah,
like
I'm pissed about
the
those
Kim
ones.
Yacinto, the Electro one, for example. I mean, I have them, but for someone who's like, I'm not spending 5K tokens for a variant. Yeah, the variant's sick, but if you're going for the album and you're like, yeah, you need to spend those 5K so you can get that. I mean, that sucks. That sucks big time. They need to change that.
I have every Kim Jacinto variant except for the Electro one. I have the Electro pinned in my Ultimate shop, and I'm like, maybe I look at it every day. I'm like, fuck, maybe one day I'll get it. Like, just one day I'll break down and spend the 5K token. It is a sick variant. I love it. To me, it's the best Electro variant, but I'm like, I don't know if I could.
You come home late at night, you're all depressed, and your woman's like, "Yo, man, what's wrong? Why are you depressed? Today's a bad day. Why? I had to spend 5K on Electro." And yeah, the variant's cool, but you're not. You buy it, you feel good for a second, and then the second after that, you're like, "Man, this sucks." Especially if you like, so you get the variant, you're like, okay. I bought the variant. I need to lie to myself, make myself feel good. That was worth the purchase. Then you try to find a cool Electro deck, for example. You play it, you get your ass kicked a couple of times, and then you're sad big time. And then you're sad big time.
Yeah. I mean, if I came home one night and was depressed because I had to get an Electro variant and told my wife, she'd probably punch me in the fucking face and be like, grow the fuck up. It's a video game.
Yeah.
I'll say I like Black Dama's description of post nut clarity right there. You feel good. You're gonna all right. We're buying it. Then you buy it. You're like, oh god, what have I done here? Why did I do this?
And then it says it really big. No refunds. Are you sure?
Tempting.
And you're like, yeah, I'm sure. And then you buy it and you're like, man, no, I wasn't sure. I was stupid right now.
Yeah, once you've done it, it's like, oh, what have I done? But I don't know. I'm with Black Dama here, man. I'm not gonna give him props for putting him. I just pulled it up. It's the 12th thing in the album. Just for reference, I'm at 13,000 collection level. I have 3 out of 12 on this one. Kim Jacinto that you guys were just talking about, I have 0 out of 12 on that one. So that's great. I have 13,000 collection level. So these things are not obtainable by any means other than spending a bunch of money on the game. So I don't give a fuck that they put it at the end of an album. I mean, God, how much money you got to spend to get to the end of an album? To me, it's like, I didn't think it's possible to get to the end.
Well, some people love Dan Hip variants and they just collect them. So just like to those people, like if they don't want to spend spotlight keys on Werewolf or tokens, it's good for those people. I'm not saying it's good for everyone. It's just it's good for more people.
Talk about people who prefer variants over cards. That sounds psychotic to me, but props to you guys.
Yeah, I'm a super big Dan Hip fan. I really love his artwork. I've been dying. Come again. I've been dying. I've been waiting for such a long time for a Professor X Dan Hip, and I saw Dan Hip posted on his Twitter. So I've seen it. I've loved it, and I'm just waiting. I just need to calm down, but once it comes, I'm getting it by any means necessary.
Yes.
Keep saving those boosters. Keep saving those boosters.
That's it.
I mean, I've split Pro X so many times, you know, I have every imaginable split you can think of, you know, so I'm good, you know.
You're
I'm
good to
also
go.
good on my Galactus splits, but I can't wait. And yeah, because I'm such a huge Pro X fan, I need to get that emote, so I need to spend for those you know, the one with the album with the card back and the Professor X emote at the end, so I need to get that. So yeah, I have to spend.
Yeah, that's great.
I have no choice.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get back into the OTAs here. That was a good little side combo. I love it. Leader, I didn't see this one coming. Leader got an extra point of power, 6-2 to a 6-3. What do you guys think?
So you guys want to trip it back down memory lane? Remember when Leader was the very first card to get a change, and the description was so complicated that no one understood exactly what the card did?
Yes, that was ridiculous. Like, make your opponent play on the same side as you play, and all this stuff is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and that also got me so scared because I'm like, man, they knew this card. So if this was our first OTA experience, so I was scared. I was horrified. I was like, man, I'm getting stuff like this every week. Nah, man, this ain't cool. I'm scared now. But yeah,
Yeah.
putting him from a 6-2 to 6-3, it's all right. You know, that extra point sometimes you can need if you're like definitely winning a location. You're like, all right, Sandman, like the deck that I dropped today. You know, you go simply strategy, so he can be a winning card for sure. I don't think the extra power was necessary. I don't think anyone really expected it. Like, yeah, okay. I mean, if you read the description, why they did it, all right, we get it. But that one power extra, I mean, who am I kidding? One power extra can make a difference in a lot of matches. We all know those times when you're level 99, about to hit infinite, you have 6 out of 7. You're like, man, I'm about to kick this guy's ass. I'm about to get that final cube, so I hit infinite, and then you lose because of 1 point, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
You lose an 8 cuber, and then you turn off your phone and go to bed. The tear will run down your face.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's an all right change. You know, better higher than more down. But yeah, I don't think it was necessary. Leader's a cool card. You know, especially in ramp type decks. Sandman, you know, can be game winning, but yeah, it's all right.
No big deal.
Yeah,
No big
I
deal.
would have liked to see 6-4. Just try to make him a real card. I don't think 6-3 is going to change anything. I think it's
Yeah.
cool that they buffed the cards that are underperforming in the game. So I'm happy with this change. Happy with the werewolf one. It's nice.
Yeah, I think it's good. I don't mind it at all. And
Mhm.
they even say too, the buff isn't likely to move the needle in a big way, but they
Yeah.
don't want it to. They said leaders because leader can just
Yeah.
fuck with players' experiences, right?
Mhm.
So I like it because
Yeah.
I think leader's a kind of cool card, and I'd like to see him a little bit more.
Leader
It'd be
is a
cool to see
very cool
leaders.
card, and in his OG days, he was. Imagine if Leader would have dropped like as a new series card drop now with his old effect. Imagine how cracked he would be.
Oh yeah.
Everyone would go
Raging.
crazy. Everyone would go
Raging on
crazy.
Twitter streets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
would be
even in
fucking
those games
crazy.
where like both play leader in like Kamartaj, and then multiple leaders will spawn in every freaking location because it just keeps on procking.
Yeah, that's great. The good old days.
Yeah,
Speaking of the good old days with leader, let's talk about the next card, Leech.
Leech leader, classic.
we kind of talked about this a little bit. We can talk about it a little bit here. He was a 4-2. They just made him 4-2 like a couple weeks ago. They're like, nah, fuck that. He ruined everything. He's a 5-5. So I'm really happy that Second Dinner actually can be like, hey, listen, we tried something for a little bit. It fucked the game up. We're gonna go back. They don't have like this sense of grandeur and grandiose. They're like, oh, we changed the card. We got to be right all the time. Blah blah blah.
yeah,
We're not gonna move it back. It's fucking great of them, and why they're such a sick company that they can just be like, hey, we tried something. We kind of fucked up, and let's go back and just change it a bit. This is a
yeah.
great example of that because for me, the last week or two has been like one of the most unfun I've played. I've had in Marvel Snap because
Oh,
I didn't realize how much I loved on reveal cards and shitty decks that play on reveal cards. That I love to play shitty decks a lot of the time, and if I can't play my shitty decks, don't have as much fun. So, yeah, Leech was kind of just fucking up the experience for me a
yeah,
little bit,
it
and
was
I'm
one
like,
of
I don't
those.
want to.
No,
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say I
like.
don't want to be like a little bitch here or anything, but like, yeah, I was not having that much fun, and I was like, fuck, So I'm happy he's back at 5 cost, and I'm happy to play my stupid decks again. What do you
Yes.
think, Black Dama?
When I saw him go down to like 4 costs, I was like, okay, this is the guy my girlfriend told me not to worry about, basically,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Leech, just come on, man. It's a fucking annoying card if you play against it. I mean, if you have it in your deck, I mean, it hurts when you hit your opponent. Like, yeah, hit your Shang, I hit your Loki, I hit your Galactus, I hit your Goblin. It sucks, right? Yeah, getting
Yeah,
hit with it sucks. But it's a heavy tech card. It's a good tech card. I like the change that they put it to an on reveal, not the old days that just playing the card. Those lockjaw Thanos days where he just pop out of lockjaw and then he'll just ruin your game at turn 6 and screw your
yeah,
entire hand. So they made him better. They had to put him back at a 5 cost because it was just getting out of hand. They know that the
yeah.
card's toxic, and I'm pretty sure when they sit down and say, "Hey, should we do it? Should we make him a 4 cost? Yeah, let's try and see what happens." But they're like, "Man, you guys know we can't keep this for long. We're gonna have to change him pretty soon because it's gonna get out of hand." And sure enough, it did.
Yeah, I think that their intentions were good. I mean, like they wanted to tone down Annihilus, the turn 5 Hela after Corvus Glaive, Professor X, Cannonball, those kind of cards that were being really good. Like they wanted to target that a little bit, which I think their intentions were okay, but like there was so much collateral damage with this change. Like they just kind of fucked up all like the little decks that like
Yeah, for sure.
and in those other Annihilus decks and stuff still did good. So it's like their target the decks they were trying to target, didn't really suffer that much, and then all the other little decks that had collateral damage kind of suffered. So for them to go back, it's great. No big deal. What are you saying, bro?
Well, like I'm not giving secondary props for the album shit. Like I was saying, like no, I'm saying for the albums.
Yeah, I know.
Putting something at 12 for the album is totally inconsequential to 99% of the player base. So I think that's a horseshit thing. But this, I'll give Second Dinner major props, like you're saying. Bravo. Hey,
Yeah, not a
it's
lot
2
of
weeks.
companies do that.
It's okay. No harm, no foul. They made a change. They swung. They missed. Move it back, and it's nice they give him some power too. So maybe some Thanos deck, some ramp deck, Hella, whatever. Maybe a 5/5 leech actually does something as opposed to the 5/3 leech as it was before. He's got that Adam Warlock stat line now, that coveted 5/5. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm really happy they moved it back and they listened to the feedback from the community, listened to us whine about it on here, and actually gave us the game that we love playing back. So I love that, and I think they definitely need to look into a rework in this card because I don't think a release valve for on reveals makes any sense when half the cards in the game are on reveal. If they weren't, then it'd be fine. Like if on reveal was its own niche archetype, but because it's not, and because there's so many on reveals in the game, we already have Cosmo like in the game, like for example, right? So
Yeah.
maybe they need to look into a rework for Leech in the future. But I'm happy where it's at right now.
So fun fact, did you guys know that in the X-Men 3 movie, The Last Stand, that Leech is actually in that movie?
No, I didn't know.
He's that boy with the bald head where everyone loses their powers when they get close to him.
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember that movie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I loved the X-Men movies, but that was like years ago, bro. I don't remember.
Yeah, if you rewatch it, it will be
Yeah.
that with the white boy with the
Yeah.
bald head,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's him. That's Leech. I'm like, yeah. Okay, I see.
That makes sense. They probably hated him in the movie too. Poor
Yeah,
Leech.
they probably
R.I.P.
did. Yeah.
All right. Last one here, and then I know you gotta go. I'm sorry we're taking up a little more of your time. But
All good, man. All good.
Sentry. They made him they just reverted basically the buff that they had originally. He was a 4/10 and the void was a -10. Now he's a 4/8 and the void's a 4 -8. This is just what he was before the buff. I guess the Nihilist decks are too powerful. What do you guys think?
No big deal.
I don't love this. Find it really weird hitting Sentry. I mean, we talked about this on the OTA wish list. Sentry was not a great card before Nihilist came out, so we know the power of Sentry like on his own. Like even with cards like a 2-cost Viper and a 2-cost Carnage and Valkyrie, which are all options to deal with the Void. That's what people were trying to do, and even with old Zabu, right, that reliably made him a 3/10 that does this. He was still not a very good card. I mean, he was kind of fun. He was kind of a niche thing you could do, but it was until Annihilus came out. This card was not good. So I think this kills the card. Honestly, I think it's a dead card now. I don't know if you could play a 4/8 -8. I mean,
No.
maybe because Annihilus is so strong, it could hold it. But yeah, I don't love this. I liked it at the 10. I thought it was really cool as a 10.
Yeah, I mean, instead of just playing Sentry now, we can just, without looking back, just play like a Crossbones or play a Coal Obsidian of 410 without any downside. I mean, the conditions to play them is different, but it's not hard to drop a Obsidian on 4 or a Crossbones. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't like it. We'll have to see it, but 410 was like a super good vanilla stat line, and of course the -10. All right, you'd have to get rid of it. You could Carnage it away. You could Annie it away. You could Valkyrie even. I don't know if it was necessary. Like it's one of those. Okay, we get it, but yeah, let's just be honest. We don't like it. I don't like it. So yeah, it is what it is.
I agree with you. I agree with both of you 100%. I mean, they mention it in the paragraph, so I'm not going to give Secondary too much shit for this, but I'll give them a little bit of shit. Like we talk about, like if there's a card that's strong, nerf that fucking card. Don't skirt around the stuff, like they do, and then they end up going back and reverting the old cards. Like Collector is a good example. Like just shit like that. Psylocke for the Thanos. Like don't fucking do that. Nerf the card itself. Like Annihilus is a problem. They need to figure out nerf for Annihilus now.
Leech for Hella. I mean, you guys, I sorry, I had to get my dog was screaming over there, but yeah, like just nerf Hella. It's fine. Like it's okay to nerf Hella, guys. It's not a big deal.
But how do you nerf these cards? Hella, though?
I just take her power down.
Take her power down, or maybe just let her spawn 3 cards.
3 or 4 card limit, something. Yeah, I mean,
something like that. Yeah,
there's plenty of ways you can nerf her, but I don't think moving Leech to a 4 is the answer, right?
Yeah,
no, definitely not. Yeah, because that was such a stupid idea. Because you're not only affecting Hella, you're affecting the entire game, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for this thing, they say like, hey, we explored revisions for Annihilus, but we weren't able to find a change we could stand on confidently in time for this OTA. So, okay, that's fair. They were trying to change Annihilus, but they're like, we got to change something about that deck, and we can't have a good change for Annihilus. Make him a 5/4 or a 5/3 and give him his old text back.
Yeah,
let him throw over 0 power shit. That was so much fun. I loved that card. That was amazing. Yeah. If they got to make him like a 5/3 to do that and keep Sentry at 410, I'm fine with that, man. That way you can put all this shit and he's just like a complete clog card. That's great. I would love that, but make him weak as fuck. Make him a 5/3 or 5/4, I think that would be cool for a cool change to Annihilus because I loved his old text. I thought his old text was awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, this Sentry is a 4/8. Like, I don't know, man. This seems kind of shitty, but maybe it's not. Like in the Annihilus decks, maybe it's not. I don't know, but to me, it seems shitty. It feels bad 4/8.
Yeah, it's a bad feels when you play a Sentry on 4 and he's like, yeah, man, I'm just playing a 4/8 and I have another -8. It just doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
It feels really bad, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, all in all, this OTA, I liked it a lot. I mean, the Werewolf by Night change, and just if not for that and the Leech change, fucking amazing. Some of the other ones are confusing, but like those 2 changes are insane and kind of like make the game way more fun. I overall I like this OTA overall.
Yeah, I think OTAs in general is such a good idea because not only does it keep the meta balanced, but it also keeps the game fresh. Even though not new cards are released, it keeps the game fresh because old cards that you don't play with, that you have no ideas, suddenly become meta, or suddenly you'll be like, oh man, I've had this card for so long, I didn't know what to do with it. Now it got changed. Oh man, I can run this, and this, synergies with this. that alone is what OTAs are super good for. You know, just to just like revive dead cards or cards that you used to play with that you don't play with anymore, and now you're like, oh yeah, man, with this effect, I need to give this card another shot.
Yeah, agree 100%. And I mean, I like that they're at least trying with Captain America too. Like I said, overall, I do really like the OTA, even though I was shitting on like 90% of the changes.
Yeah,
I like it especially a lot better than last week. And
I mean,
I just find the nerfs weird, like what they think is strong, even though it's like it was the Leech meta, and we're getting rid of Leech, so that was a little bit weird to me. But yeah, I mean, it's a good OTA, and
yeah.
yeah, I like that they're at least trying with Captain America, even though the word
Yeah,
onboard is a little bit
they're
weird
taking
again.
a step in the right direction. You know, they're listening to the community. You know, and not a lot of companies do that. What makes Marvel Snap so
Mhm.
great, you know. So we pretty much have like the direct contact to the devs and stuff. So that's pretty exciting. And you know, they're aware and they're reading and they're listening and they're like, oh man, these people are loving our game. You know, they're asking for a Captain America buff. So yeah, let's hit them with something fresh. Yeah, yeah, I got a good idea. Come on, yeah. Let's make all ongoing cards cube because yeah, man, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And
And
people are like,
they
yeah,
nailed it with like Wolverine was a good example where they nailed it, right?
yeah, it
Like
was
Wolverine
perfect.
was just like Captain America. It's like, man, it's Wolverine. He's iconic. Like, what are we doing? And then they reworked him, and now he's like a really cool card. So
Or
I think they
maybe
tried with
like
Captain America, but they just
yeah, or
missed a bit on it.
maybe they try something like you know give Captain America an arm reveal if they rework him like let him draw his shield, and
Mm.
the shield will have some type of effect that can like instantly destroy a card. Or no, that might be too busted, but
Yeah, throws the shield. Got to throw the shield animation.
yeah, he throws
Yeah.
the shield and then or you know you can move the shield to a random location once you play it, and it will be like armor, you know, like protected location or something like that.
Mhm.
That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I like the changes, and you know, I like the OTAs. I like to keep up the OTAs, man. People that don't like OTAs, I don't think have ever played card games before where like meta stays stale for 6 months without changes, which is fucking horrible. 3 to 6
Hmm.
months. So you know, even if they miss on a couple of them, at least they can change them back,
Yeah.
which they've proven that they do. So you know, I'm
Yeah,
happy about that.
for sure.
But yeah, on that note, I know it's really late for you, Black Dom. I feel bad. I'm sorry, dude.
No,
What do
it's
you
all
got?
good, man.
What do you got to say to the people, man, before you
Um,
get out of here?
Thanks for you guys for having me on. You know, it's been super cool. I'm super excited. I hope this is not the last podcast that we do.
Nah,
I'm always pumped. I always try to bring cool decks to the community. You know, the reception has been really good. I've had a great experience so far. You guys are super down to earth. You know, I've been loving the Marvel Snap community. And yeah, nothing but love. And like I said, thank you for having me on. You know, it's such a cool feeling, though. Just like sit there, think of a deck, and you know, have a lot of people respond to you and be like, "Hey, man, such a cool idea," or you know, just to interact with the community. And yeah, like I said, I started it now, so I'm gonna keep going and just see how far I can push it, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude, I love it. Hey, thanks so much for coming on. I love your decks, man. I love your energy. Your energy is infectious. It's fucking awesome. So keep that up, dude. I love it. No big deal. What
thanks,
were you gonna
man.
say? I'm
Oh, I
sorry. I
was gonna.
almost got.
Oh, go, sorry. Let me just say real quick. You know, if people don't know Black Dama, seriously follow him on Twitter. One of the coolest deck brewers in the game right now. Very unique takes on all kinds of different decks. Uses different cards and very powerful. A lot of them are like very statistically very powerful too. Like it's not just LOL. I put Quicksilver in a deck. Like it's very well thought out, smart, cool deck design with cards. Maybe you don't play with too much, so if you're ever at a creative block, you're brewing, you can't think of something, check out Black Dama's Twitter. Like if you haven't heard of him before this pod, seriously, like I'm not just like pumping him because he's on the show. Like his decks are like next level creative, and so like definitely worth the look for sure.
Thank you so much, man. It means a lot. It really means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, good luck on the move, dude. Good luck.
Hey,
Yeah, have a
thank
nice
you.
move,
Like I
man.
said, we'll definitely keep in contact and
Yeah.
definitely host another podcast. Once I'm in my new crib, and everything's settled in, I'll have a lot of time. Then maybe we can do something cool, maybe come up with a new deck idea, or even though if I'm hosting another spaces, definitely love to have you on, and everyone can join in and have a cool talk, just have a chill time, rant a little more about some OTAs or some shitty cards coming out or some good cards, you never know. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, dude. All right. All right, we're back. I know Black Dama is moving tomorrow, so it's very late for him over there. So man, thanks again to him for coming on. Big shout outs to Black Dama. Like no big deal said, man, great fucking guy and awesome decks, very creative decks.
Great brew.
I'm pumped to have him on, man. So he'll definitely be back on in the future. No big deal though. He he had a little bit of spice here for the people that he wanted to get out in the world here. Leech is gone. He's got some spice. Captain America's buffed. He wanted to get some spice out to the people, so no big deal. Take it away, bro. What is this deck here that we're looking at?
Yeah, well, like I said, if Black Dama had a little more time, we'd be getting into all kinds of different brews right now. But if you want to see some of his wild shit, just follow him on Twitter. He's got crazy shit. In the meantime, this deck's been very successful for me. I mean, we didn't end up getting a casted on here, but I'll spoil it. In round one, I did 10-0 with this deck in tournament in Snap Judge League. It was a massacre. And so I'm not gonna throw the guy's name out there or anything that 10-0, but he was playing a hella deck, and when you have Jean Grey and Cosmo, the deck just loses. They can't do anything. So this deck is this is the OT agent. It's been around. We've talked about it a bit before. It's Ant-Man, Howard the Duck, Mojo, Jeff. That's not Valentina. That's a U.S. agent. The kid has not picked up the card yet.
Don't have U.S. agent.
Still won't. Then the new and improved Captain America, Cosmo, Mobius, Jean Grey, Iron Lad, Claw, and Spectrum. So the cool thing with this deck is that the tech cards that are in here are extremely debilitating for your opponent. So I used to have armor. But we do have Cosmo for the destroy matchup. So I ended up taking him out for Mobius just because Loki does kind of just railroad this deck if you don't have the card Mobius in it. So I think Mobius is just an awesome tech card. I mean, handles all kinds of different stuff. We got Sasquatch coming up. This Mobius card, we're going to need him in our deck. So I think cards like Mobius, Cosmo, and the most disruptive card in the deck by far is Jean Grey. Jean Grey is your main win condition, and you could just blindly fill up your Jean Grey lane. You don't have to think about it too much. It seems like this big brain card, but the more I play, the more I realize, just freaking fill up the lane. Ideally, you want a Jeff in there. Obviously, Mojo in the Jean Grey lane is very good. Cosmo in the Jean Grey lane is almost always phenomenal and really cucks your opponent a lot of the time. So if you don't end up with a lot of power there, you could always claw it. You could always Spectrum. So yeah, I mean, just a really good deck. You're just playing up basically two lanes and but playing a bunch of really annoying tech cards that make your opponent extremely angry.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you get the Ant-Man again. I fucking love you and your Ant-Man. What do you think about Howard the Duck? Is he just a cheap one cost ongoing, basically?
So yeah, I mean, when Yo Woody was playing this deck, he was using Nightcrawler in that spot. I really like Howard because you get a ton of snap equity from the card Iron Lad, and sometimes you get to double Spectrum, which is really nice. If you ever played a Spectrum on a Camartage or something like that, that's just an auto win every time, right? So you kind of get that, but very reliably with Iron Lad, and also there's these crazy scenarios come up. Sometimes you'll just have priority, and you click on your Howard, and Iron Lad says Cosmo on him, right? And you're like, and it's all right, this is when they would maybe play this on reveal card. Let me put a freaking 4/6 Cosmo in that lane. You could just do some really wild shit. 2 US agents could get pretty crazy, but just know Iron Lad does hit himself, which sucks. But it used to be rectified by Luke Cage, but they nerfed him for no reason in the OTA. So we just have to deal with that now. But I think the Howard, Iron Lad, and especially with new Captain America, because with if it was Nightcrawler kid, then the Nightcrawler is always a 1/2, but now we have potential to be a 1/4, a 1/6, or even a 1/8 if we gig a nut, So
yeah,
because like I said, you could double Spectrum. So Captain America boosts him and Spectrum boosts him, and really Iron Lad is just an awesome card. So I want to play Iron Lad if I can, and there's no bad Iron Lad hits. You're happy with everything. Even Jeff's kind of hilarious hit on Iron Lad sometimes.
Yeah, no, this looks like a good deck. Yeah. And then how's US Agent doing in this deck?
He's core. He's core. You need if you don't have him, I don't think you can play the deck. Honestly, I think he's a crucial part of the deck because you could just use him to clog your Jean Grey lane. And then if they want to try to play a big card to counteract it, it's like U.S. Agent, baby. Also,
Yeah.
just really good into like Living Tribunal. A lot of ongoing stuff was out there. There's a lot of Ultron decks, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
just, I mean, we were in Jubilee Leech, all that. But, even if you're not playing that, there's just so many decks that play a bunch of 4, 5s, and 6s. So he's just he's a rock star, man. He's a ton of power. And probably going to be more power than Captain America, honestly, on average in this deck.
Nice. I love it.
-4 for each card is ridiculous.
Yeah, the old Nerf Spectrum, huh? This is why they nerf Spectrums, because of you.
Yeah, no, seriously, people were playing shit like this. Also, it's like it's very budget friendly. So okay, U.S. Agent, you could just put an armor, like just take him out for armor if you want to play his deck and not spend 6K. Like, just put an armor there, and you're gonna be just fine.
Or Colossus.
Yeah, Colossus. You actually could do Colossus. I like armor to cuck the destroy players though. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Goose, like Goose is another one. You could play Goose. There's options for sure. You can definitely replace the U.S. Agent. So yeah. I think he's crushing it though.
Nice. What? All right, you got a couple more here. This is your bounce deck.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, werewolf by night.
Yeah,
it's back, baby. So yeah, I mean, I've been messing around a bit, as this is obviously far from optimized. You want to check like Lambie's Twitter or something. I'm sure Lambie or one of the bounce boys, like maybe even Glazer. Like I know Glazer's a bounce boy. One of these guys is gonna have some crazy bounce list. But this is just what I'm working with for now. I've messed around with it quite a bit so far. So mine is the Hood, Hawkeye, Iceman, Nico Minaru, Angela. I think maybe the Angela can be a collector. I don't know yet. But Beast, White Widow, Falcon, Sage, Bishop, Werewolf, and the spicy pick Legion. So originally, I was running a Bast bounce with Iron Man. Legion. Iron Man was in the Legion spot, obviously, and I was finding the Bast to be very underwhelming because unlike like when I'm playing him in like Cerebro 3, for example, like C3, you want to hold the Bast and then just have them just pop off and just hit like 4 things, and they're just you just got 4 like broken ass cards that you're just playing out, right? Yeah, 3 power Iron Man, all this shit. In this deck, I find I always want to play out my ones because you want to play them as fast as you can, bounce them back, play them again, bounce them back, play them again, play everything on curve, just dump out your hand constantly. And if you're not playing your cards, then maybe your Beast clogs your hand, right? So, you can only have 7 cards in your hand. So
yeah.
It just feels really natural. Like the Hood, I just play it out. The Hawkeye, I play it out. Iceman, play him. Nico's the one where maybe you hold sometimes, but most of her effects are still good. Like the Demon effect's great. Both +2s are great. Draw 2 is obviously great. So 4 of the effects are phenomenal. And what are the other ones? Scarlet Witch and Move Right. So even those are kind of fine to just throw out sometimes because you're bouncing her back and then she's going to be a different effect. So and also, White Widow, I think is just hilarious. Just play 2 White Widows.
It's a great card.
And also really good into I thought I was going to see more bounce decks on ladder. The second they changed Werewolf, so I figured how about a little mirror tech, a little anti-bounce, clog their shit up. But of course they can beast it away as well, so you do have to watch out for that. But so now that I took Bast out of the deck, I looked in what's a good kind of like finisher card that's also an on reveal in case I want Werewolf to jump to that lane. And I thought about doing Cannonball here, but I ended up trying out Legion. And as you've said a million times, kid, Legion is the ultimate cube stealer, man. This guy is just insane and just wins games on his own. He still does. Nothing's changed. He's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he's a really good card. I mean, like, if you want to have more like power, like an Iron Man in that spot would probably be, the pick, which I'm sure, like, I know Lambie's a big proponent of Iron Man. I love this.
Great with Bast, though, right?
Yeah, that's true. I love the scams. I love Legion. I think Legion's I love how you put Legion here. He's a great choice. And one card we didn't really talk about too much last week because it was right when the card came out. When we recorded was Sage. Sage actually been a pretty decent card this week. Is also an on reveal, so we'll proc the Werewolf, and seems to have found her home in a couple decks. The main deck seems to be Bounce, sometimes replacing Hitmonkey, sometimes both are actually run. So Sage actually, I don't think Sage is like an optimal card that you need to have or anything like that. Really, I don't. but she's actually surprised me and been a little bit better than I thought she was going to be. There's been a few times where she got pretty massive, and it's like, all right. And especially with bounce, you could bounce her back and just play her again. Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Sage is a good point. You're right. We hadn't talked about it too much, but seems like at least for what I've been playing, because we filmed this on Tuesday last week, which was like the day Sage came out. So neither of us got to even play with the card.
Yeah.
And so now we've had over a week to play with her. And for me, my experience, talked about it a little bit in the YouTube comments of the last pod, but was I think she's really cool in junk, but maybe copium. Like you probably just don't need to play Sage, right? You probably just play a Green Goblin, it's gonna be better, like a Black Widow, right? Like, better, like just a more junk, right? So instead of just like Sage, but she can get really big power in junk. I think she's unreal in Mr. Negative, like really good, but that is still a fucking Mr. Negative deck at the end of the day, right? So Mr. Negative has his own limitations, but Bounce is like actually a pretty good deck already without Sage, right? So you add Sage, I think she's unreal in Bounce. Like she fits in like a glove. I think she definitely include her if you had her. Obviously, if you don't, you can replace her for sure. But I mean, she gets absolutely massive in this deck, like 16, 18 power, like very, very easily. And because you play her, you bounce her, you play her again, like GG.
Yeah, and you have a few scalers here. You have the Angel, you have Sage, you have Bishop, and you have Werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Do
you
Hawkeye
think
kinda too, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hawkeye is an interesting pick. Do you think Kitty Pryde might be better than Hawkeye, or do you think Hawkeye just gets too big? Because Kitty will proc Angela and Bishop, right? And not Werewolf, but Angela and Bishop can synergy with them. Yeah. Or do you think it's just like Hawkeye just gets too big, and I don't know.
When I first started the deck, I was playing Kitty. And I think she's really good with Bast as well. That's another card that if you're going to do the whole Bast package, because, you either make her 3 right away on the first turn, or you could play her at the same turn as Bast and then she doesn't lose her power. So I think she's really good with Bast specifically. So if you want to maybe take out 3 cards and do Kitty Pryde, Bast, Iron Man, obviously take out Legion and then 2 more cards. But I just, like I said, I like to just machine gun out these cards. Yeah. I might even take Angela out now that I'm not playing Bast. She's a 0, and just put a collector there or something, because the Hood procs collector, Nico if clone procs collector, and then obviously Beast and Falcon both. So collector should be a pretty easy 2/6, 2/7 in here, pretty reliably. So that's a consideration for me as well.
Yeah. Nice. Well, yeah, Bounce. I'm excited to play some Bounce again. This deck looks good. I'll probably play this deck. I just want to fuck around with the Werewolf. That card's so fun. I can't wait to play the card again. Yeah. But I just been getting my, I'll talk about one deck I've been playing. I've been the boys in Lambie's Discord have got they put some Cannonball and Blink in the Phoenix Force deck and merged it. And I've been having so much fucking fun with this deck. It's been amazing. And I'm happy because now that they killed Leech, it's even better. The Phoenix Force was just it's a deck, obviously a deck that I talk about a lot. People are gonna be like, "Shut the fuck up, kid! You talk about this deck too much."
No, this is what we're playing.
No, I know, but this is I love this deck. It's so fun. They took out Taskmaster and the flex spot, which is usually Forge or Goliath. Usually Forge is the the main card. So minus Forge, minus Taskmaster, and put in Blink and Cannonball, and you can do some just wild shit with this deck. Blink, if you don't draw your Phoenix Force, you can blink out, if you play a Venom somewhere, then blink out the Venom, or play any other card and then blink it out, because there's not too many cards that are, the only card higher than a 2 is Venom. So if you already draw Venom, that you're going to be drawing your Phoenix Force. So you can do some fuckery there. Cannonball just steals games. I mean, a lot of times Deadpool, and a big Taskmaster on the last turn is good, but Cannonball is almost just as good because he just gets rid of their big card. So he does well. He does a lot of work as well. And if you don't draw your destroy cards, you can blink into a destroy, and then turn 6 you can Phoenix Force, and then Doctor Strange or Ghost Spider and stuff like that. So there's some options there with the blink, just as kind of a fail safe. You could blink out the Cannonball, which is also an insane play. It's just 15 power.
That was the first thing that came into my head. I was looking at this, you could probably pretty reliably get a guaranteed Cannonball as your just a turn 6 blink. whatever the last card you played, like, you know, it could just be a Hulkbuster or a Deadpool or something, or your Nico or your Ghost Spider, and like a lot of time it's just like it can only be Cannonball left in the deck, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's awesome. So this is just a fun version of the Phoenix Force deck. You know, there's less like you have less overall power, but you have some fuckery with Blink and Cannonball, and like the opponents don't know what the hell they're doing.
Mhm.
So I have an SJL match tonight that I think I'm just gonna play this deck, and just have fun with the Blink Cannonball. I'm still not that good at it. Like I'm like, you know, some of the lines I'm still kind of like hazy, but yeah, this is a fun one.
That's sick. That's a really cool, spicy addition to the PF. You know,
It is, yeah.
It was just good cards before, you know. So now it's like
Yeah.
you're doing some spicy shit.
Yeah, and there's a few of them. You know, a few of the boys. I think JD Magdaleno. He's top 500 now with the deck. He's just a few of them have been grinding this exact version and having some good success. So and it's fun. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then another deck I want to give a shout out to. I want to give a shout out to Safety Blade because this deck was a lot of fun. Last week I was playing a lot of this deck. Was Kitty? It's his Slayer Blade deck. So it's Kitty Pryde, Angela, Havoc, White Widow, Jeff, Ravona, Sage, Hope Summers, Nocturne, Enchantress, Professor X, and Cannonball. And Havoc goes insane. Ravona is an insane deck with Ravona because you get rid of you lower Prof X, Sage, Havoc, and Angela. The deck just works really well. You get the Prof X Cannonball, and you got the Enchantress, which has been just a massacre to all the ongoing stuff. This week, and Nocturne's actually been a pretty sick card in here. Just that location change and a 3/5 that can move, pretty sick. So I want to give a shout out to this deck because it's a lot of fun.
This is a sweet shout out because it's funny. I still have his old deck in my collection just because it's so unique, and I would not be able to recreate it myself. We talked about this deck a good amount on the Felicity episode about a month ago, I think, when he crafted. Maybe it was like a month and a half ago, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see an up-to-date version. A lot of the cards are different, but a lot of them are the same too. So if you don't have Nocturne, I mean, I have the old deck pulled up here. You could do like Red Rogue. Guardian, Green Goblin, Wolfsbane, and Green Goblin and Wolfsbane also get discounted by Ravona as well. So yeah, I mean, you do have options there.
Rogue, you could do Rogue as a tech card too.
Yeah, Rogue as well. So yeah, I mean, but then you already got the Enchantress, so maybe take out Ench or whatever, but. Yeah, I mean the play, you got Havoc. You can discount the Prof X Cannonball, but also like all the cards are tiny, so you could just play under Havoc sometimes. Like sometimes you just play Havoc on 4 and you just let it rip.
Yeah, exactly. You can play Havoc, and then if you have Hope Summers down, you just play cards in the Hope Summers lane, and you get your mana back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or your energy, whatever the fuck they call it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is a fun game. Shout out to Safety Blade. He always makes awesome decks. He's one of the best deck builders out there. This is the one that I was having a ton of fun with. It's a great deck.
On my list here, it's called Safety Blade Havocopium with a K. Havocopium.
It's great. And then I think there's one more you wanted to talk about. The old C2 autofill.
So a couple of content creators are on this already. I think Reed just made a video on it. And I think Alex Koja made a video on it as well. So this is not like a secret spice or anything. But if you just go to you go to your deck builder, you put in Cerebro and you put in the boy Captain America, new card in the Marvel Snap. Yeah. Then you hit autofill. This is what comes up. So this version, and there's a lot of ways you could play it, and I'll get into that in a sec. But this is Nico. Helps you draw your Cerebro, obviously. So Nico, Nightcrawler, Goose, Mr. Sinister, Shadow King, Cerebro, Mystique, Brood, Captain America, Negasonic, Storm, and Blue Marvel. And the idea is Captain America works on ongoing cards, and Cerebro, Mystique, those are ongoing cards. And so you pump them up to 6-7 power. It's pretty sick. Captain America himself obviously is a 2, so he works like perfectly in this deck. And if you want to get really crazy, you could play Iron Man. So you put a Captain America next to Iron Man. This could be like a 6-7 power Iron Man, which is just insane. You get like 50 power lanes in a freaking C2 deck. And like I said, go look at Alex Coach's channel if you want to see that version of the deck played. Me personally, I do like a little bit more control. I think I'm playing this exact build, but with Iceman over Nico. I find I just wasn't really finding any use for Nico. I think you can, with the control version, you can win without your Cerebro Mystique Blue Marvel. I don't think it's necessary. Like, I think your main win conditions are Goose Lane. You have a Goose Lane, you have a Storm Lane, and then you put like Negasonic in the other lane. And like, that's just so much control that like they can't really play the game at that point. So it's felt really good. That's what I've been playing, kind of my only deck I've been playing today, and been winning a lot with it. So I think it's a really cool build, and I think you can consider cards like Iceman. You can consider cards like, maybe you don't like the Goose gameplay, you could play White Widow, who's a 2 power card. And then now Captain America doesn't cuck your board as much, because you don't want your Captain America hitting a Goose, because now he's a 4 power card because Goose is ongoing. So a little bit of negative synergy there. And I saw Alex Kocha, I think he took out Sinister, but he put Magic. Magic's a 2 power card. I think if you're playing Iron Man, you should try to get Magic in there as well, personally. Because you know, he's a 5, Blue Marvel's a 5, you know, Cerebro Mystique 3/3, but you want to play him later. So, you know, when the hell are you going to play all these cards? So I do think you need the extra turn if you're going to be playing Iron Man in here as well. So I would consider it 3/2 Magic, which is a great card in Marvel Snap. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you play it. Iceman, you know, Scorpion, whatever, you know, a lot of cards you could play. So, and I think Alex playing Elektra. I don't think you should do that. I think that's coping, but yeah. Echo. Echo's kind of interesting though. Echo actually is really interesting. 2 power card as well. That can do all kinds of shit in here. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, because you know, people might not have like Negasonic, for example. There's a ton of stuff or Nico. There's a ton of stuff with 2 power that you can use. You know, Echo's probably a really good one, especially in this meta. Like you said, Magic instead of Negasonic if you want. You know, Iceman, there's a ton of 2 power cards that are very good and disruptive. So yeah, you don't need this exact list. This is just literally just the autofill C2, but you know, and like No Big Deal said, there's a ton of content creators that are putting out these C2 decks. And you know, even before this update, before Captain America, people were playing a lot of C2. Like, it was a decent deck.
So it was doing pretty good actually.
Yeah, I'm kind of, you know, it's nice that like Cerebro and Mystique now can actually get some power with Captain America, because they were just such a liability before in this deck. Just 0 power. You know, they can get 1 with Blue Marvel, but like still, you know, now they could actually be 2 power cards. And then I'm assuming they buff themselves too, or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Right? Like, they become 2 power with Captain America, but then they become like 4, 6.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's awesome. That's so cool for this deck.
Yeah.
This deck that I hate, but I mean, you know, I'm not going to play it, but I like that it's good.
I will say that the card to, for sure, like, as I mentioned, a bunch of cards you can mix and match, and I definitely encourage, you know, like, again, this is autofill. I haven't figured out the perfect 12, but I'm having a lot of fun messing around with it and kind of winning along the way, even switching out cards. But I would say Shadow King is the MVP of this deck, the kind of hidden, you know, he's the X factor. Like, I would say do not take out the Shadow King. I mean, my God, Shadow King is a monster in the meta right now. Like, Werewolf by Night, I'm sorry. Like, you're a 1 power card now. Angela, sorry, bro. Bishop, like, you know, all this shit. Like, you know, Cam Best put a Shuri deck out there. How about a little Shadow King action? Like, Phoenix Force, Shadow King. Like, you know, there's a lot of Shadow King. Also, he, if you ever get hit with some Cyclops high evo bullshit, little Shadow King, we reset our cards, we go right back up to 2, baby, where we need to be. So, you know, I hope they don't skip on the last turn. But at least if you get severely, you know, reduced or something, or some negative, or like Jotunheim or some shit like that, you know, throw a Shadow King in there at the end. Maybe you can get some shit done. So I would say Shadow King's the key. But yeah, I mean, Negasonic's crazy, man. Negasonic, and nobody's ready for the Negasonic. So, but she's definitely replaceable. And yeah, really fun archetype to play now. Like I said, it's only 2 archetypes you can play in New Captain America. I think it's Spectrum or this deck. I don't think he goes in anything else, because it's only ongoing cards, which is really stupid. But it's good for C2, I guess.
I mean, you still play it in C2 with if it didn't have the ongoing change, because then you just play it in Cerebro and Mystique lane, right?
What do you? Oh, well, yeah, but then you'd have to like not play something else.
Yeah,
that's fine. You have to only be those 3 cards in the lane only, and then you're getting into like the Namora situation where everything has to be perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing I got to mention real quick: 25% play rate ish. I think. I mean, I don't have the stat. I checked the stats last week. That's what it was. You know what card Captain America buffs, kid? That's just really, really useful.
What?
It's 25% of the meta. It's an ongoing card and it's 0 power. What card do you think I'm talking about?
0 power ongoing. Oh man, Iron Man.
The Widow's Kiss.
Oh shit.
So instead of a -4, you could have like a 7 power Widow's Kiss on your side. Simply by playing Captain America on the lane. It's come up twice for me already. It's great.
Oh, you mean with Cerebro?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Well,
because then you fill the lane.
Cerebro, Blue Marvel, but either way, it goes up by 2.
Oh yeah,
it's ongoing.
You fill the lane, it becomes 0. Cap makes it go up by 2, and then it gets the Cerebro buffs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wild actually. That's pretty sick. And that being said, White Widow's a 2/2. You can put White Widow in this deck.
Yeah, that's what I said when on the first rundown. But yeah,
sorry.
So if you don't like Goose, I think White Widow's good for Goose because then you're not anti-synergy with Captain America. She's on reveal. So yeah, White Widow's very, very good and playable in this deck for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I love it. That's probably it, man. We went through all the decks, went through all the spice. Again, man, shout outs to Blackdama. Thanks so much, dude, for coming on. Honestly, love his energy. Great Twitter follow. Great deck brewer. Great guy. Give him a follow. Go check him out if you haven't already. He's awesome. No big deal. You're going to be abandoning your post for the next couple of weeks. You got a fucking honeymoon, apparently. You got to go out to, and, you little bitch. Just abandoning me. It's all right. I'll find some friends to come on the podcast with me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be able to do it Joe style myself, but we'll get some friends to come and help out. But yeah, what do you got to say to the people, man?
Well, yeah, I was gonna bring that up. So a little bit of housekeeping for once. Not something we usually do, but I think I'm gonna be missing hopefully 1 week of the pod. I'm gonna be coming back in 2 weeks, but on a Friday. So if we could somehow coordinate a Saturday podcast session.
We will.
Yeah. So I should be missing 1 week. So sitting in this chair is gonna be somebody else next week. I'm sorry to the people. I gotta go on a honeymoon. Enjoy life a little bit, and I'm just a little bit worried to be falling behind on the monetization. I've been doing my daily missions for like over a year now, almost every day. So I might have to come back and like spend $30 on the game to pump my collection back up to where it needs to be because I want Sasquatch, I want Fastos, all these guys. So I'll have to remember to roll for Sasquatch too while I'm on vacation. That's something I'm gonna have to do. And then,
also, they have internet in Europe. You could do your fucking dailies. Before you go to bed.
I probably won't. I don't like just when I'm doing shit in real life to like have my phone out just generally. But
that's true.
In bed or whatever, and I can't sleep.
That's true.
I'll be firing up Marvel Snap for sure. And then also, kid, I think we're generally releasing on Sunday now. I know.
Yeah, don't say anything. But yeah, I was gonna kind of say that. But yeah, like we will probably, we have some exciting stuff in the works. Don't want to say anything about it yet. I know if you're going to spoil it, I would have killed you. I guess I could.
I just want to say for schedule, if people are wondering why the pod's just randomly coming out on Sunday now, because I think last week it came out on Sunday, right? Even though we filmed it on Tuesday, it came out Sunday. So we're going to try to consistently do Sunday. I mean, don't hold us to it. Obviously, we've been very unreliable for any longtime listeners. It's like kind of hard to predict when this fucking thing comes out, but I think we're gonna try to do Sunday if we can every week.
Yeah, and Sunday, and that there's a reason for that, and we'll talk about that once we can. We have some really cool things in the works. So yeah, Sunday, and we'll see what happens. And no big deal. Take us out, man. What do you got to say to the people?
Hey, C3, C2, we back, baby. The boy, the bro, the 3 bro, the 2 bro, number 1 bro, the kid. Thanks for hosting. You're my number 1 bro.
I'll take it. You're my number 1 bro too. Only because you're the only bro that I have. So by default, motherfucker. But yeah, I love it, dude. I hope you have a great time on vacation. You deserve it, buddy. I hope you have an awesome time. And to the people, have fun out there. Keep snapping. And peace. Yay.